In support of a woman who claims she was wrongfully evicted from her Crescent Town apartment last night, went into the early morning hours after police were called and she was forced to vacate the unit. Now, tonight, many are reacting, asking the question, what rights do tenants have if they find themselves in the same position?
Once I get to 5, these people are going to be arrested for trespassing under the Trespass Property Act. One,
officer, there is an active case in the court, and if the party, we're not trying to do anything.
5.
Put your hands behind your back.
This video showing the tense moments early this morning after officers were called to 7 Crescent Place for a demonstration being held by a local tenants group.
Nobody deserves to be evicted from their homes, not the least during the time of this pandemic.
My question is, why didn't I get any notice? When did this become okay to evict someone without a notice, a young woman, an immigrant woman, on the street? When did we become cruel like this?
This woman says she was evicted Thursday, leaving her out on the streets. She says she was invited back to pick up her things yesterday, and that's when the community rallied behind her, refusing to leave unless the landlord agrees she can stay.
What are tenants' rights, I guess, when it does come to situations like this where cops are at your door now trying to evict you?
Typically, it's the sheriff through the court enforcement office who deals with evictions. So I am a little bit surprised that Toronto police were involved in this situation.
The Toronto police say they attended for a dispute call and were allowed into the unit by the tenant. Police say they advised those inside that they were trespassing.
Since then, we've been fighting this eviction. It's an unlawful eviction. We filed an application at the Landlord-Tenant Board.
The Ontario Landlord-Tenant Board ended the moratorium on evictions in August after being introduced in June to stop all evictions due to the financial impact COVID-19 has had on tenants. And since the introduction of Bill 184, landlords can apply to have an eviction order without a hearing if tenants have signed repayment agreements and fail to pay.
It's normal for people to have an opportunity to go through a hearing at the board, but with the passage of Bill 184 and certain pre-existing, I suppose, processes that existed in the framework, it happens sometimes that an eviction can be issued without the tenant ever appearing before an adjudicator.
Councillor Brad Bradford reacting to last night's event, sending out a tweet today saying, "The Crescent Town and Goodwood evictions are unequivocally wrong. I and City Council oppose Bill 184 and COVID evictions."
They've been sending me recently the rent increase. So from what I know, I'm still a tenant. This is my apartment, and then I'm going to stay here.
Toronto police say no arrests were made last night and shelter services were offered to the tenant.